Hi folks, welcome to Average Joe Airstream Renovation. Today we're going to actually take out the Univolt. We built all the cabinets around it last year. We left an access panel on the top so we could get into it. And it died on our first trip out there. So it was the original Univolt. This is the 78 Safari. And now we bought a Progressive Dynamics lithium charger because we're getting a lithium battery and we're changing out the fuse panel. So we're going to be doing all that in the upcoming episodes. But today our biggest concern is to get in here and get this Univolt out because I realized there's not much on YouTube about removing the old Univolt. So we're just going to show you what we got as a situation, because now we've made it a lot more difficult for ourselves because the cabinets and everything are in the way. If I go back a few episodes, there was nothing but a floor in here and the little, looks like an old cooler box that they stick these Univolts in. I could have easily gotten it out, and now it's going to be a lot more trouble, but it is doable. So we're just going to show you how we're going to do that. Alright, so there's the end of our cabinetry, and we have a table up above here, or a ledge, a shelf I guess you could call it. And there's our fuse panel back there, and down in there is the old Univolt. I have unplugged it from its outlet, but there's not a whole lot of room in there, and I don't know if we're going to be able to show you, but there's a screw out there. But this side underneath here actually has a rivet in it. Now that has to be drilled out. You might have a screw in yours, and so we can get this cover off, because even though there's 4 bolts, 2 on that side and 2 on this side, which are going to be really difficult to get, even if we get those out, from what I'm told, we're not going to be able to pull it out this far. So we have to get this cover off, because there's the wires down in here we'll have to disconnect to pull the whole Univolt out. Now, when I do get it out, I'm going to put it over here, where I have a lot more access. That's where my battery and my converter are going to go. And then if we get extra batteries down the road, we'll put them back under there. Because here, as you can see, I can lift this whole bed frame up, and I've got lots of room to work in there. Whereas over here, I'm pretty restricted. So anyway, we'll see if we can't get that drilled out and see where we go. Okay, so we didn't have to drill it out. I noticed it was a bit proud. I just reached in there with a pair of snips and it just popped right out. But I do see, I don't know if I can get you in there, there's not much room. There's a rivet just on the top right there. And there's this plastic wall over here, this strange thing that they put these in. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a big window in this plastic right there so I can access a little bit from the side. Because right now this is still not loose at all. So I'll just see where we go. Okay, we've now cut an access panel so we can get at that rivet. But man, I tell you what, this stuff is thick. That is not easy to cut. I thought I was going to do it with one of these X-Acto knives, which are pretty good ones, but ended up going with the drywall saw. Just watch out you're not cutting any wires. So cut from this side out to that side where I have nothing anyway. See what you have. And now we're gonna get down there and drill out that little rivet. Okay, after a great deal of trouble, I got those 4 bolts out. They're very tight. Gives you no room in between this and that plastic casing. When I drilled that out, there were still 2 in the bottom. I couldn't get at because of the plug down there was covering them. So now I've just got it flipped up on its side. That's the bottom. And I'm going to drill these 2 out because I still can't get these wires free enough to pull this thing out. But what a beast. I mean, this thing is heavy. I didn't expect it to be this heavy. I did have to cut this over here so I could bend this side further out that way so I could actually get my extra long ratchet down in there to get that last screw out of there. So I'm going to drill those two out and see what we get. Alright, so now we can see in there, and we got pigtails. So it should be pretty easy to unhook this wiring, although those ones go down in there. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so my cover is not coming off unless I drill out all sorts of rivets down that side and all sorts of rivets down this side, which is ridiculous because you would have to pull the whole thing out to get at that one side because it's up against the trailer wall. Now I have flipped the thing completely over the other way because the main cords are down at this end. And I ran into these 4 bolts. Well, I don't know what exactly that's going to do, but I am going to undo all those and hope something drops down a little further. You know, if it gets too ridiculous, I'm just going to cut this beast out of there and see what we got going on, but I'd rather not do that, so we'll see where this takes us. But what a pain. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, 2 rivets, you unscrew and your cover comes off. Well, not on a 78 Safari, that's for sure. So let's see. I wish I'd done this before.
So tell me, you have experience.
I have quite a bit of experience. Not, you know, like exactly doing it, but I've studied it, and I talked to people who have done it. I've seen the videos, and I feel very confident. And with my knowledge, I could do it, no problem.
Then you can handle this.
It's no problem. It's like no problem whatsoever. Piece of cake, piece of crumb cake.
Now, needless to say, folks, do not have your trailer plugged in when you're doing this, and do not have your battery hooked up. I don't even have a battery in the trailer. This thing has no power anywhere. You do not want to be fooling around with your converter and doing all these things without everything disconnected. Make doubly sure of that before you mess with anything with electrical. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're afraid of what you're doing, get somebody that knows what they're doing. Just a little caveat there. Okay, so this nightmare continues. So that just made something inside drop, but it didn't really get me any access whatsoever. So now I gotta drill out these 3. Now I have it flipped on its side, and hopefully I'll be able to flip it over to its other side. I don't know if there's enough room in there with the cords or not, so I can drill those rivets out. If not, I'm pretty much ready to take a chainsaw to it and get it out of here. Alright, through very much aggravation, I managed to get it flipped onto its other side. But you can see these stupid iron feet they got down there got caught in all this venting that I am thankfully not going to need in the new trailer with Lithium. I can't wait to get rid of these holes and vents and boxes and garbage. So I finally have everything drilled out. Let's see if I can't get that off so I can undo the connections without absolutely ripping this thing to shreds. But what a job, boy. Would have been a lot easier before all this cabinetry was around it. But if you had this built in over here and over there and everything, boy, I don't know how you'd even do it. And I can just get my head under there to look down in without banging into here. So not much fun. We'll see how the end goes here. Oh, and there's my piece of tape. So I guess we got stuck on that too, because what I did was I put it over that outlet down there just so I didn't have a bunch of crap falling in while I was sawing the plastic and drilling out the rivets. So I'll grab another little piece and throw it on there. I'll probably change it out anyway, but just in case. Well, finally got this monstrosity off. Piece of crap. Had to cut these, so I'll put new ends on them anyway. And boy, what a job that was. And now I'm going to try and get out this piece of junk that weighs a ridiculous amount compared to the new converters. So let's see what we get for now. escape hole for all the mice. Isn't that nice? Ripped out this whole thing. Which one sits over that hole? Pulled out in the process. Yeah. Still, that's just access for mice down there, so we're gonna have to do something about all of this. But just to round it off, let's go see how much this beast weighs. We're just gonna test to see how heavy the old converter is and how heavy the new converter is. Brand new scale here, set to pounds. Let's just grab the old one. Oh my goodness. I think you'll see why it was so hard to flip this thing around in that little box. All right, let's see if we can get it all on there. 38 pounds. 38 pounds, and I'm sure that's on there correctly. I'll just show you that. Can you see that? It's on digital. 37.7 now, but it's because I'm lifting up a little bit on it. 38 pounds. Crazy. This is a beast. Let's see if it changes if I put the backside on it. 38.2 because it's heavier on the back. It's coming off the scale a little bit. 38.1. Okay, so 38 pounds of pure garbage. Whew. All right. Now, this is the model we got. IntelliPower Progressive Dynamics. This is for lithium, which is the L. And this one's 45 amp, which is all we're gonna need. And we'll just throw that on there. .3 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see that. 4.3 pounds instead of 38. So we just gained 34 pounds of cargo. So there you go, folks. Some of these Univolts are pretty difficult to get out, but it's going to be a lot nicer when we get this new one in. We just gained 34 pounds of cargo for an old dinosaur. I should have taken it out before I did the cabinets, and it would have been a lot easier to get out. And I can fix the spot in the bottom of the trailer now, keep some more critters out, so it's a win-win. This one cost us somewhere around a couple $100. Great little converter, I think. We'll see. We'll give it a bit of a test, and we'll show you when we put it in with all the rest of the gear. Thanks for watching, folks. God bless.